To note the benefits of IUID and this asset management imperative, this will in fact, when implemented, provide total asset visibility for that timely, accurate information and identify assets down to the location, down to the quantities, and the condition and status. And anyone who's been or is in a logistician role can appreciate having that kind of information at the disposal and the accuracy of that in helping to support mission success. So when you know what you have and you buy only what you need, you also are being much more fiscally responsible, and you're able to reduce or manage the spares and the costs associated with those spare parts in your stockpiles. You can update property books and ERP systems to also enable this audit readiness. Once again, a lot of what we do are able to capture and manage data at the edge of these business processes and flow them back to these larger legacy or ERP systems that will maintain this data as the system of record. Once you've added Auto ID technology for barcode or RFID tracking, you also eliminate slow or error-prone, very manual processes. And error-prone has to be highlighted because a lot of errors often aren't detected till they're far downstream. It's not just a keystroke error, it's the implication of those keystroke errors and what it has to reporting and being able to maintain accurate inventory control. So much so that when a DoD study was performed by the Joint Logistics Board, that a $3.2 billion investment in IUID would yield for the Defense Department alone over $4 billion annually, which amounts to upwards toward $40 to $50 billion over a 10-year period as they project it out. There are benefits very definitively to the warfighter. The more you have accuracy of your equipment and its readiness status and its maintenance records, the more prepared that warfighter will be, and the better you will ensure his or her safety. You can eliminate counterfeit items, incorrect and non-conforming parts that may be coming through the supply chain, particularly as it applies to electronic systems, where we know there's a lot of compromising in the supply chain, and the controls that are not yet quite sophisticated enough to be able to detect those electronic parts from source through to the user at the other end. You can sustain a rapid deployment capability, meaning that if you have accurate information about what you have, you can pull it together efficiently, pick, pack, and ship, as we call it, and make sure that it's to where it needs to be in a very efficient period of time. And it'll optimize the chance for a successful mission while increasing that accuracy and improving inventory decision making at the end. As I mentioned, GAO did have a voice in all of this along the way, and their recommendations are that UID, they did determine, have an improved accountability of equipment and increasing efficiencies throughout the maintenance process. They set about setting some quantifiable interim milestones for the military in order for them to gauge the progress of IUID marking, not just simply looking at the registry and identifying the number of marks that have been created and reported along with assets through to the IUID registry. They also state developing further policies and procedures for ensuring that the 2D data matrix marks from the contractors are reliable. And that flows through to what you'll see coming this year with DCMA getting smarter by the day in terms of more training and more education and understanding about what to audit against when it comes to these contract obligations. And lastly, it's to getting more legacy items marked according to the GAO, and the ability to be able to track not only items coming in from the supply community, but their own items through various business processes and the benefits they would be revealed from such an initiative. The reinforcement of GAO is to examine and report on contracts and ensure that contracts that have acquired items in government property clauses are being adhered to, and that's going to flow through to this contracting community. To define the requirements for IUID and how that impacts the ERP systems used within the branches of the military. And implements their own IUID marking to improve overall asset accountability, tracking, and lifecycle management. So to see GAO weighing in on this and what the DoD can do to further leverage this technology is an important notable along this journey of knowing that this is now, a way in which the military has to be doing business and is required to, according to the policies and rules that they're putting in place for themselves.